say, I was like, another redhead. I got a little intimidated because she was a spitfire. I know you guys said she was so sweet and calm, and she was sweet. But she was a spitfire, that's what I would say. And I said, oh man, I gotta meet her, because she's like, I mean, I gotta get to know her better. And it took a while. I came to a few parties, and I sat in the back, and I watched how much fun she was, and got to know her and Jeff better. Ron and I, we loved her from the beginning. You know, we loved the way that she entertained, and how she made you feel welcomed, and opened her arms to everybody. And it was right after my mom passed away, so I felt like when I met her, she gave me something that made me feel alive again. So I wrote a couple things down, and it's just a few things, but I have to read it because when I get nervous and cry, I forget. So today we celebrate a wonderful lady that left us way too soon. Rhonda was loved and admired by all of us. She was very smart. She was very smart. And I used to call her up and ask her questions all the time. And she goes, Cathy, why don't you just Google it? And I said, well, I'd rather call you up instead. She, as you said, she worked her way up. She worked her way up the ladder. She was a hard-working woman. She didn't get anything easy. She worked for it. And that's what I admired about her the most, is that she worked very hard. And she didn't flaunt the shit. She was giving. She would give you anything. And she, what size do you take? Here, come in. Let me give you a pair of my shoes. She was loving, and she'd give you a job where she worked. You know, does your daughter need a job? Tell her to come on over. I'll give her a job. She was wonderful. She worked her way up in her career, as you said, as a manager of retail. She worked for Mervyn's, one of my favorite stores. She was she a regional manager, or she was the...
She started off as a general manager. And she wanted to go district and regional, so she went to another organization. She went to Office Max and worked there as a general manager. And then there wasn't a way for her to make a promotion in a timely manner, so she got another opportunity so she went from Mervyn's to Office Max, and then she went to Party City. And of course, I was all about Party City, right? I mean, come on. So then, she worked at Party City while she lived here. Okay, so there was a lot of Party City going on right here in Nortonville, Pittsburgh. And then she went to Petco. But she made it to district manager of Party City. And then there was no, so she stepped down because it was just too much expectations and not enough reward. So she stepped down, and then she decided she wanted to go to Petco. And she worked there to Petco until 2021, and she started telling me that she had some pain in her shoulder. And I kept telling her, why don't you go on workman's comp? And she didn't want to do that. She goes, I got integrity. Oh, come on. If you quit, you're not retiring, you're quitting. And she didn't really, we thought different on that. I thought she should be a workman's comp if she hurt her shoulder. Okay, well, in her back. That wasn't what was wrong with it. She thought it was from picking up dog food bags, and it was from breast cancer. And if she would have went on workman's comp, it might have got discovered sooner. So anyway, I'm sorry, but you're doing great. But she was a hard worker, and it's true. Everything she got, she worked for. None of the stuff was given to us. I was a hard-working guy too. Whether the guys at work that know me want to talk shit, say, "Oh, I saw you at the smoking pad eating donuts and talking shit," or whatever. No, we all were focused and worked, right, and saved and planned for our retirement.
Okay, Jeff, we need to move on to the next person that wants to talk.
Well, you kind of took over what I was going to say, but that's what I was going to say. So now I kind of lost where I was at, but basically, yes. nothing was just handed to her on a silver platter. And she didn't rub that in anybody's nose. She was always very giving and loving, and she'd give you dresses and clothes. Whatever you wanted, she'd give it to you. She was a leader, and she was not only a leader at work, but at organizing anything and everything. If you said, hey, I had a baby shower, and she said, well, let me come over and help you. And she helped me on a budget get things together so quickly, and it was just her leader skills that were so beautiful. And she taught me a lot of things that I didn't know, and I probably taught her a few things that she didn't know, and along with everybody else. We all came to her for advice, I feel, right?
That's for sure.
Yeah. So on special occasions and birthdays, everybody was really excited because they knew that Rhonda was going to remember it was their birthday. So they knew that with Blue Moonshine playing and with Rhonda remembering all the birthdays, that they were going to have a lot of fun at whatever club that Blue Moonshine was playing, that they were going to have a really nice birthday. And a lot of people didn't have a lot of families. So when Blue Moonshine recognized that person, it was a lot. It was given a lot to that person. They had a family. It was friends, family, and Rhonda would bring cake, cupcakes, whatever, and it made everybody feel loved. And that was the big thing, that everyone felt loved. So she had that special gift that is rare to find in a lot of people. I'm sorry, I have my grocery list here that I wrote my notes on. I should have did it on the computer, but that's how I am. So anyhow, I adored her. I loved her. We were crazy together. I loved that she was adventurous. Yeah, two redheads, kind of crazy, huh? But you know, she would tell me, I mean, she was sweet as could be, but she would tell you straight up certain things. She wasn't just this little cutesy-wootsy sweet little thing. No, she would tell you. She would tell you straight up if something was wrong. And I think that's what I loved the most about her, right?
Kick your ass.
Yeah. No, she never fought. She never fought. She never fought. She was a good girl, but she was adventurous and she was sweet.
So she goes to me, you think I'm stupid? You just was in your guitar room, and you keep the door locked, and I see all these guitars. What are they in there reproducing?
Spoiled. Yeah. She had a spontaneous personality. Spontaneous is a big word for me, but I know that everything she did, she made everyone feel happy and loved again. And her and I had some wonderful times together, along with everybody else. And I think you know that, Jeff, right? Time in the city was the best. The four of us had a lot of fun in the last couple years. She would always call me, come on, Cathy, let's go out to dinner. And what was her favorite place?
Sweeney's.
Sweeney's. Sweeney's restaurant in Brentwood was her favorite restaurant. And I went in there just recently, and I was very sad. I went in there with my husband, and they went to seat us, and I said, I can't sit here. And they said, why not? And I said, because this was my best friend who just passed away. This was our table. This was our table we all sat at. We sit down for a couple hours. We didn't just have a dinner. We sat there for hours until they finally said, okay, I'm sorry, it's time you guys have to leave. The whole restaurant's cleaned up, and we're ready to go home. You're having too much fun. You got to get the hell out of here. But Sweeney's is no longer Sweeney's, so I'm kind of glad about that, because that was her favorite restaurant. And every time I would walk in there now, I would feel, really okay. So she had a great style of her own, and I think everybody knows her style in clothes was awesome. It was beautiful, and I will miss Dolly very much, and I think everybody else is going to miss her very much too. And I think that she'll always be with all of us in some special way, that when we go somewhere or we do something or we see something like, look at those cute red shoes. I think Dolly would love those. I think that's something that we'll all carry on in our thoughts. And hopefully you'll always have that picture of that beautiful little trim. I always said, you're a trim redhead, and I'm the chunky one.
Awesome.
But I loved her a lot. So
We need to move on
Anyhow, I'm done, but if anybody says a prayer, or anyone wants to say a prayer, no.
I have
Okay,
a
okay,
yeah.
okay.
I have a prayer that we're going to be saying after bed.